Hubert, what inspired you to become a poet?
Well, I think nobody ever knows what inspires them, really. But the two things were happening when I first started to write poetry, and one was a new wave of poetry which I loved to read in the 1960s, yes, the beginning of the 60s. And I suppose in some ways I wanted to write like that. And then at the same time I was having a family. I had 4 children, and the delightful experience of seeing them respond uninhibited to the world and of course learn language was enough, I think, to set me going.
How does it make you feel that today's launch was so popular?
I think the musicians were absolutely spellbinding. There are times when you can almost hear people listening, and this was one of those times. And so they listened to me as well as the musicians, I think. But partly it was, I think, that the recital worked out very well, where in rehearsals it had been a mess. It just arrived in time.
So, just in time. Do you think because your poetry has become so popular, has it sort of spurred you on to write even more poetry?
Not really, no. I think poetry, with me, after an event like today, I have to recover from it and get back to being a normal person and get back to responding to the world around me in a very quiet and calm way. And being out there in public doesn't help at all, I think.
Obviously, in some of your poems, your inspiration was things that have happened to you. So, 5th of 4, obviously based on the trains.
Yes.
And that. What else inspired your latest poetry book?
Well, there are many things I've written about which haven't happened to me, but they have happened to refugees and victims of torture, survivors of torture, let's call them, with whom I've had to deal. So in my last 3 books, there have been many poems about their experiences, but always remembering that they can never be my experiences. So I'm standing at the side, looking at them with their experiences and wondering what it's like to be them. I know I must never be tempted to write as them, because I can't understand what they've been through. So that's been a very strong theme for me in the last 3 books. Yes.
Will you carry on that theme when you write more poetry? Will that theme sort of carry on?
Well, circumstances are that I no longer work at the Medical Foundation for Torture Sufferers. So I'm not regularly at close quarters with them, but you keep them as friends. There are several here today. Hymenop the singer is one of those. And so I'm quite close to them as they have made their lives in this different country.
You've made a friendship with them.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Mm.